On this hour of the Lawrence First and Goal Clinic, we have Coach Tucker Meyer of North Dakota State. He's the outside linebackers coach there, and he's going to be talking about overhang / outside linebacker play today. Coach, on behalf of Lawrence First and Goal, thank you for taking time out of your day to present. And now the room is yours.
Well, thanks for having me, Coach. Obviously honored to be here. Like you said, my name is Tucker Meyer. I'm the outside linebackers coach at North Dakota State. That's my information down there. If you have any questions, would look forward to hearing from everybody. I'll jump right into it here. Couple things that I'm going to talk about, kind of emphasizing the importance of outside linebacker play, kind of what we ask of them, their job requirements, and then some of their fundamental techniques. So, fortunate enough to be friends with a lot of air raid guys and spread guys, and you hear those guys talk all the time. They're going to try to get the ball to their athletes in space, and every time I hear that, I just think they're gonna target the field flat or basically that overhang defender. So they like to work the field versus too high, and one high work the boundary, too high work the field. We try to get them to work the field out of our one high stuff with really good boundary safety guys. Oftentimes, like just curl flat. It's the point of attack, both in run and pass game. You have your jet sweeps, your bubble, your perimeter game, all that stuff. Obviously a big point for offenses and what they like to attack. So, and then kind of the most important thing is like when the overhang doesn't execute at a very high level, it's usually a very explosive play. So jumping into it here, the different jobs that they have, they're going to have to set an edge, going to have to violently destruct blocks. They're going to hold the windows in the pass games. You hear hold the curl, tackle the flat. We want to have violent reroutes. We're going to have to play man coverage. Outside linebacker body at times, man to man on a slot, and basically the whole route tree is open. You can say you have inside help and post help and all that stuff, but all of a sudden you get an RPO slant, and that inside backer gets sucked up. Well, there's not much inside help, so that there's a lot that goes on that guy's plate. And then obviously kind of lastly, you're gonna have to tackle with a lot of space between you and a receiver at times. So block destruction wise, like I said, you have to be able to set an edge. You have to be violent, and you have to know where the ball is in relation to the blocker. So you can come underneath blocks and all that stuff if you can make the play. But if you're gonna come underneath and not set an edge, you better make the play. So can't allow offenses to go 1-for-1. They think they have that guy blocked. We think that we have to be a difference maker. Can't let that happen. So butt press, rip off, make a tackle. Obviously easier said than done, but those are the expectations. A couple poor clips of it here. Looking at this number 20 up top right here. You'll see him in an Apex Plus alignment. We're just going to get bubble screen. And we're not violent at the point of contact. We're losing that battle right away. He widens us. Offense goes 1-for-1. Mike has a long way to run. All of a sudden, 1st and 10 becomes 2nd and 8 for a play on offense that really only 3 people are running. You know what I'm saying? Quarterback's just throwing it out here right away, but 8 of the 11 players on the field aren't doing anything. So next play here, very, very similar. Tight end out there blocking us, and we're not violent. Like this is an easy read. Ball's out, and we're not attacking the block. We do use our hands, but we get too wide. Same exact thing. 1st and 10, all of a sudden becomes 2nd and 2. We would much rather live in 2nd and 8. So a couple good examples here. Same thing, number 20 down here at the bottom. I'm going to get toss power sweep at him. And immediately, now he doesn't use both hands and he's not as violent as I'd like, but he is controlling the receiver and setting an edge. Now we get good pursuit by our Mike. Our safety gets kind of whipped there, but because we set an edge, because we control the receiver, we're making a play in the backfield for a negative 2-yard gain. Same team, number 20 up top here. So now we know it's coming. It's the same formation. Everything is the exact same. It's a little bit later in the game. We thought we had him kind of dialed at this point, and so he goes and gets it, uses both hands, sets an edge. It's a tighter window than what the previous clips were. So the receiver still has a butt to run off of, but we've tightened it down. We've controlled the receiver, and then we're able to get in on the play. Again, that's 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 8 as opposed to 2nd and 2. Now they go FIB, so we're in the box, but we're going to get jet sweep action again to the field. And again, number 11 does a really good job here of getting vertical on that block. Doesn't use his hands, would like to see some of that, but is violent enough to make up for it. Now, he doesn't make the play. This isn't going in for a TFL or a tackle on number 11, but he's the one that sets this up for everybody. So obviously, really good job by him. One more example of it here. Again, jet sweep action coming at him. He's got to set the edge, and you'll just see him flat out trigger here. He takes 2 blocks, gives a Mike an easy tackle, and it's all of a sudden it's 2nd and 11 as opposed to those earlier clips. But just violently attacks both blocks, and I think that's one thing that's unique about the position is you're not always going to get credit for making the tackle. Like that's not going to show up on a stat sheet, but this is number 20's play. Next thing I kind of want to discuss is like a palms drop, or any type of curl flat drop where you're going to read the end man line of scrimmage and take 3 to the flat. So got to have great route recognition. We've got to have vision on the quarterback. We've got to have great ball out breaks, and we got to be ready to make a tackle in space. So a couple poor examples of it here. We're showing field pressure. He gets out. Now, coaches talk all the time about a 5-yard no cover zone. Well, we're jumping a swing in the backfield. Now, you can say there's a lot of space. That's a big boy tackle, all that stuff, and I agree. But if we hold this curl for just a second longer, if he sits here for just a second longer, the quarterback's got to come back to the swing in the backfield. So what we'd like to see is hold that hash for a 2 count and then go ahead and get downfield, make the decision at the same time the quarterback does. Now, instead, we leave up a wide open window. Receiver drops it, but it's a route where we would like to be in a much better position on. Well, good examples of it here. We're curl flat player, obviously getting widened and getting stressed by how wide they got this guy in the flat out here. He doesn't jump it. Quarterback starts in the boundary, comes back to the field, and I think we're able to play both here. You know, if he does throw this down in the backfield here, we're able to come down and make a tackle. Obviously, that's great. I think he comes off the curl because we give our safety, inserting safety, enough time to get to that window. So we hold it, incomplete pass. Same thing up top, holding the curl, tackling the flat. We have no flat presence until late. We're getting depth, holding the hash window. We want to prevent this ball here from being thrown. I think he's in a really good spot for that. Has vision on the quarterback, gets a good ball out break. And again, offenses are going to complete balls. We've got to be able to make a tackle in space. It's a really good job. Number 11 here, we get a bunch to the field, a tight bunch to the field. Now, this is a really good play by him. He's going to expand, probably expands too fast, honestly. I would like to see him hold this curl in here just a little bit longer, but he has 2 outside of him, so I kind of understand it. But he plays off quarterback's eyes, comes in and makes a really nice play. Later on in the game, 2-minute situation. We're on a 2-to-1 read. Gets an in route. Again, we have a guy in the flat. That's a big boy tackle to make from 12-yard space if he were to get the ball right now. But instead, he holds that hash, sees a high throw by the quarterback, goes up and makes a great play. Now, the next part is a buzz drop or any type of cover 3 drop. Very, very similar to a palms drop, obviously. But in this, we want to have a violent reroute on number 2. Same exact thing. We want to have great route recognition. You know, if 2's in, 1's probably coming in, or at least to the buzz player, 1's coming in. If 2's out, 1's probably coming in, at least to the buzz player. If 2's vertical, we want to have a violent reroute. We want to bang and buzz. We want to do a great job of playing off the quarterback's eyes. And just like always, we want to be ready to make a tackle in space. Oh, shoot. So looking at this up top, it's a 2-minute situation. We know we're getting 4 verticals, and we know we're in post defense. And so we are counting on a violent reroute by number 20 here. If he's not going to reroute him with his body, we want him to reroute with his feet. We're going to look at this here. He's head up number 2, and he doesn't make number 2 even stutter his feet. Doesn't make him stutter, doesn't make him slow down. 2's catching a seam ball 2 yards outside the hash, and all of a sudden it's a 20-yard gain. Not very good technique, not what we're asking him to do. I'm sitting here on the sideline screaming, reroute, you know, all that stuff. We don't get a reroute, first down. Couple good examples. They ended up getting a penalty the next play. This is the following play right after that. So same exact thing. We kind of know we're getting 4 verticals here. Hey, reroute 20. And this is something we work really hard on is switch releases, rerouting in our switch releases. Now, we get a physical reroute right here. And look where these 2 vertical seam balls, these 2 routes end up. Knowing those offensive guys, again, I know that when they're drawing those cards, they don't tell those verticals to run outside the numbers and on the numbers. So that reroute provides, now if our corner were in a little bit better position, I think we can make a play on this. But the reroute allows the corner to play 2 and get a great PBU. Again, number 20 is not going to get a PBU in the stat book, but I really think this is his play. I don't know that happens if the corner has a seam threat that he's got to squeeze off. So really good play by 20 there. Later on in the drive, same thing right here. Hey, we're getting 4 verts. It's exact same receiver he didn't reroute earlier. 2-minute situation, post high defense. Now, we're not violent here, but as opposed to that clip earlier, this receiver has to stutter his feet. Instead of being 2 yards outside the hash, he's on the hash. This receiver were right here as opposed to right here or even here, he's probably catching this. Instead, we make him stutter his feet, he gets up the hash, and we get an interception in the end zone to close out the half. That didn't go down as 20's interception. That went down as 23's interception. But I don't know that it happens if 20 doesn't make that receiver start and stutter. Kind of same thing here. For vertical concept, I really, really like what he does. Head up number 2, we want a violent reroute any vertical route. And look at this here. We try to get an outside stem so he can't get 2 hands on him. But quarterback's not throwing that ball. Quarterback can't throw the sail because the sail's on the ground. A really good job by number 20 here. And then has a pretty good ball out break, and we're breaking up on the football. Now, next thing, obviously a big deal in any overhang defender, whether it's a nickel or an outside linebacker. You're going to have to play man to man. You got to know if you have inside help, if we're bringing 4, if we're bringing 5. You got to do a great job of game planning with those guys. I mean, number 20 specifically and number 11 for us did a really nice job understanding, opposing offenses, their splits, tendencies, down and distance, all that stuff. We primarily play catch man. So we want to play catch on his outside shoulder. We want to stay square, stay lateral with great pad level. We want to absorb any contact. So we want to drive on first level routes. We want to absorb and be ready to break with second level routes. And we want to collision vertical routes. So you got to have a great anticipation of the route tree. On slot fade, we got to work with great leverage. And it's a big boy play, and you got to be a great playmaker on it. Sometimes offenses are coached too. Those guys do a really good job over there. So at times those things are going to get caught, and that's probably okay. So, and catch man out here. I would like his leverage with that guy being on the hash to be a little bit wider. Now, I would like for him to stay a little bit more lateral down here in the slot. Initially based off that stem. So he starts to open up a little bit sooner, and probably if he stays a little bit more lateral, doesn't get scared off by this rub here. Now they kind of get us, and this is obviously a really tough play, but if his technique were better early on, I think we're in better position on this ball. Now we make a tackle and all that stuff, but I think his technique in terms of staying lateral and staying thick on the outside shoulder, the man could have been better early on in that play. So these guys here did a really good job of wheels, and then same thing, stutter to slant. And this receiver is a very, very good player. He was an all-conference Big Sky guy, very good player. And we put this guy on an island a lot. So you'll watch number 20 here. Stays lateral. It's a post wheel out offensive play where they do that stutter wheel. Number 20 does a really good job. He's thick on this guy's outside shoulder. Really, really good position. He stays lateral better than he did in the previous clip. This receiver's just dang good. He stems it inside, sticks it inside, and quarterback puts a really good throw in there. This is something we hadn't seen on tape. And again, those offensive guys do a good job, and they're going to get some at times. But was really excited because we think this offense wanted to hit this ball down here on us, and instead they had to convert it. And again, they're going to make plays at times too. Really good throw and catch by them, despite us having pretty dang good technique there. Couple good examples of it here. Would like for him to be a little bit thicker on his outside shoulder. But again, like we know we don't have slant help, so I kind of understand it. We're in a too high deal. We're going to break on first level routes and tackle them, and that's exactly what he does. 2nd and 2, all of a sudden 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. I think we're fine with that. I think we're just fine with that. So really good ball out break, good technique, good tackle. Pretty fired up about that for 20 there. Going back to the Eastern Washington game here. Up here in the slot, post high defense. This kid was dang fast. He was a good player. We collision his outside shoulder. I think we do everything right here. We get our hands on him. And this was after one where we knotted inside on us. But same thing, receivers are going to make plays too. I think that's one we got to tip our cap on. But really good technique by 20 and a great throw and catch by the quarterback and receiver. So we're going to be all right with that one. Up top here, same thing in the slot. 20's lined up right here. Stay lateral, stay connected. Wanted to be a 4 vertical concept. We kind of knew that. We stay thick. Number 7 turns around for the ball. Quarterback scrambles, but it's a dead route because of the contact that we make. We slide our feet, stay lateral, stay square, keep our eyes on the target, look back late. Really good job by him. And then tackling, can't do this without talking tackling. You got to be able to do it in a lot of space. You're going to have to tackle guys. However you structure it, at some point, you're going to have to tackle a guy that's either bigger or more athletic than you are. So if you put a nickel out there, the running backs that run downhill at you and get on the perimeter and jet sweep and all that stuff, they're going to be bigger than you. If you put a linebacker out there, receivers are going to be more athletic than you. So in terms of tackling, got to know where your help is, and got to know where Sammy the sideline is. He's never missed a tackle in his life. And honestly, the best tackle in college football or football in general is when the ball carrier goes on the ground. So a couple poor examples of it here. You're going to watch 20. This is obviously not what we coach. Now they kind of have us numbers wise, but they screw up their count. We have a chance to make a tackle here, 2 or 3 yards. Instead, we go to our knees. We don't use our leverage. We get juked out, and we give up a touchdown. A couple good examples here. You'll see number 20. We're going to get out into a cover 2 look. Quarterback checks the ball down. We have 6 yards of space between us and the receiver when he's about to catch the ball. Great ball out break. Makes a tackle, wraps up, causes a fumble, starts celebrating too early. Otherwise, we could have got it in block. But a really good job of having a great ball out break and making a tackle on a ball carrier. Same thing down here. We go to a cover 2 look. Same thing, we're going to be a hash drop to the field. That ball is going to be open in cover 2, just the way it is. But great ball out break, and we're sawing them off. We're going to be okay with the catch tackle on a middle hole shot in cover 2. Really good job by him, and that's a dang good receiver there. Now, a lot of times, I'm talking overhang specifically, but a lot of times we're going to end up being in the box, and we're going to have to make tackles in the box if teams do this motion stuff, and anytime they get to FIB, we better understand how to go track guard spill. We better understand how to stack ball to the running back. We've got to understand fits, and we've got to be able to make tackles on running backs as well. So a couple clips of tackling a receiver. Now we're just in the box here, backs away, know the action's coming to us. He does a really good job of stacking his gap, looks to fall in, makes great contact on the thigh boards of the ball carrier, runs his feet on contact. 3rd and 2, all of a sudden, or 3rd and 4, 4th and 2. That's a stop. We're getting the ball back. Really good job there by him. So just kind of takeaways from this whole deal. I think outside linebacker specifically, or overhang, whatever you want to call it, is kind of a position that's at times taken for granted. It's oftentimes it's coached by a safeties guy or a linebackers guy, and it's a different position. Now, I'm not that that's right, wrong, or indifferent, but a lot of times they're not an in the box player, but they have to learn to play in the box. Like I said, they're usually out of the box and have to do all those things that I discussed. It also doesn't have a lot of glory, like I was saying. If that guy messes up, and a couple of my clips weren't on here, but if that guy messes up, it's an explosive play. and everybody and their dog knows it. Knows when it's on him. Like I said, there's the plays aren't on a stat sheet. Like he didn't get those PBUs and he didn't get that interception. He did. I mean, same thing setting the edge. He's not getting the tackle in the backfield, but it's something that coaches know. You know, opposing coaches know. We know, and it's often taken for granted. So other than that, lack of execution leads to big plays that you saw a couple times. So anyway, I appreciate your guys' time. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to discuss them.
At this time, it doesn't look like anything's popping up in the chat.
All good.
Coach, on behalf of Lawrence First and Goal, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to present.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Fired up. This was a good opportunity for me as well.